Hello, my name is Jbear, and welcome back. This is the next episode in my Build With Me series. And in the last episode, I filled this stadium with life. Added all these people sitting in the stands and the team out there playing on the field. Added some extra stuff all around the building. You can see the bus out there. Out front, I added all of these people and some buildings and another bus and concession stands, just various things to give life to this area. And I'm going to be adding life to a lot more areas in my city and the town and everything. But today I'm going to work on something a little bit different. And so in this episode, I'm going to be building over here in this area, just this vacant section of land that nothing has been added to. And it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to try to do this as a tutorial on how to use World Edit in Creative to build a skyscraper. So I'm going to go through each step of the process on how I build using World Edit, and maybe you'll learn something, be able to follow along and build your own buildings. So the first thing we're going to want to do is level out the land, and we're going to use our selection tool here, which is a wooden axe. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this area here. So I'm going to select this corner by left clicking on it. And if you notice the coordinates down in the lower left corner of my screen, you can see it says the Z elevation, the Y elevation is 67. And we're going to come over here, make sure we click on 67. That was 66. So we want to come up here. And I don't like leaving a hollow area underneath. So I'm going to run a command here called expand. And we're going to go 5 blocks down. And then going to type set grass block. And that replaces all of the selected area with a grass block. And you can see I have missed a couple areas over here, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. We're going to come back over here since this is the area that we're going to build in. And I also want to clear out all of this grass and these dandelions. So I'm going to now take my selection and I'm going to expand 5, and then I'm going to type U for up. And now what we can do is we can type the replace command, grass, and then we can type 0, which is air. You can type air as well, whichever is better for you. Okay, so that got rid of most of it. Now, if we had tons and tons of dandelions, I would use the same command to replace them too, but there was only 3. But let's do the tall grass. So we're going to do replace tall grass, air, and now all that's gone. Now we have that totally cleared out. I'm not going to worry about this being a different elevation over here. I'm not too concerned about that because as I build this, the wall is going to run along here someplace, possibly set back from the sidewalk a little bit, and I'll work out what's going on with this later. The way I build these, it is a mixture between using World Edit and traditional building. Oh, and you can see there's a tree over here that I missed. So let's go ahead and replace that as well. Replace, that's oak. So we can do oak leaves, and we can do oak logs. Just put a comma in between, and then we'll do a space, air, and that replaced all of those, and now they're gone. So now we have a nice flat area to work with here to build our skyscraper. So now that we've got the land all flattened and cleared out, we have to get an idea of what is our building going to look like. And if we take a look here in the creative menu, we can start scrolling through and picking out blocks to decide, well, what do we want to use to build our building? There's a lot of choices. There's a lot of different styles of buildings. And if you start scrolling through here, you can't think of what you want to build. I recommend going to Google Earth, and I'm going to switch over to that now. All right, so you can see here, I'm looking at a section of New York City. You can see the Empire State Building right here, and a lot of buildings to take a look at as inspiration. And I just panned around until I found something that looked interesting, and I found this building right here. I don't know what it's named, but I kind of like the look of the dark color with the light blue windows and just the shape of the windows with these vertical lines, and I'm going to go off of that. I'm not going to build this exact building, but it's given me some inspiration as to what I want to do with my build. So let's switch back over to Minecraft, and I'm going to pick out some blocks that will allow me to build something based off of this. Alright, so here you can see I have picked out some blocks. They're all on my hotbar here, and I've laid them out just so that I can see what they look like together. And I'm going to start building the bottom section. So if you notice, in many buildings, the bottom section looks different than all of the sections up above. Now, I haven't necessarily built most of the buildings in my city this way, but if we take a look at the last one I built, you can see the bottom has this little bit of a different shape to it. Like there's this extra ring of white around it. Nothing really all that different, but typically in many skyscrapers, the bottom layer is different and then all of the upper layers are the same. And sometimes it has a top part that is different than the rest, which I also haven't built into any of my buildings, but I want to try to do that on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and start trying to figure out what the bottom part is going to look like. All right, and you can see here, I have a little section built up here. I have the corner built a little bit over there, and I'm pretty happy with how this looks. I put some black concrete on the inside to keep the building from looking hollow, because I don't intend to do the interior. And this is a good way to make it so that your building doesn't look completely hollow, kind of like what's going on with this one. And then we have like these buildings over here. You can see the interior is done. And so those don't look hollow because the inside's done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use World Edit here. I'm going to select that corner. And then I'm going to select the ground level because I have some powdered concrete under the windows here, and I want to extend that down as well. So let's see, I have 3 sections. Let's try doing 6 more. So we're going to do stack 6, and it's going to be the direction we're facing, so we don't have to tell it which direction to go. I think that looks pretty good. I'm happy with the size there. Now what I want to do is I'm going to take the corner, because the corner is a little bit different here. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy this. And then we're going to rotate this minus 90 degrees. I believe that'll be correct. And let's see, I need to paste this, I think right here. So let's see how that goes if I'm in the right place. I rotated it the wrong way. Let's undo that. And now let's rotate it 180 degrees. Paste that in there and let's see if that looks correct. Yes, that looks good. Now that I have one side completed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select here, and then we're going to come down and we're going to select down there. And I'm going to now copy this from this corner of the building here. And then we're going to go over here to this corner. And I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And now we're going to paste that right here. And you can see we've done another side. And now I'm going to do the same thing here. And there we go. And one more time. And there, the entire bottom of the building is done. So now that we have the 4 sides put in place, We could call the bottom of the building done if we wanted to. If you want all 4 sides to look exactly the same, that's great. That's pretty much done now. But I'm going to add a door in the middle. So I made this 9 windows wide so that we can come here into the middle one and add a door. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do those 3 windows there and make all of those ones look like doors into the building. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you what I built. All right, you can see here I have built an entrance. Pretty simple. It's just a little bit of an overhang that protects the doors. And for the doors, I just used glass panes so that the depth looks a little bit different than the rest of the windows. And once again, it's still got the same black concrete behind it. But I think that that is a decent entrance. Now we're going to come up here and I'm going to click there. And then I'm going to come click the sidewalk here. And we're going to come to, let's see, we'll go to this corner right here. And I'm going to copy that. And then we're going to rotate it 270 degrees or minus 90. That would be the same. And then we can come to this corner here and we can paste that. And now we have an entrance on this side. And I know I've got a little bit of sidewalk here. I've got this problem here with the grass blocks, but that's something that is easy enough to clean up. You know, you can world edit this if you want, but by the time you go through and select it all, you can come through and replace it. Although ultimately that's not going to end up grass. Probably what I will do with this, I'll probably take that out, and then we'll take like this andesite, polished andesite, and let's extend that out a little bit. We'll extend that out too. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get polished andesite stairs. Actually, let's do slabs. If we get some slabs and put them here, I think that's a nice transition down from the sidewalk. Something like that. I might go through and clean that stuff up a little bit later on, just the detailing, but the point of my video right now is I want to show you how to world edit the bulk of this stuff into place, and then you can always come back through later and add some detail. So now that I'm pretty happy with the bottom part, we can start working on the next level up. And what I'm going to do is something similar to what I did here, where I built just a section of it and then use world edit to stack it down, copy and rotate around, and then we're going to stack it up. So the first thing I'm going to do is work out what I want this to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and build a couple of windows and see what I can come up with. All right, I have a couple windows put in here on the next level that I'm pretty happy with. I also extended the ledge out 1 block around the outside of the first layer because it just looked a little too flat. And I'm going to be doing the same thing on the next layer as we go up. So I had wanted this to kind of have a small window like that, or maybe a small window like that there. But unfortunately, none of the slabs or trapdoors look quite right with it. I wish we had concrete slabs, because doing this, that's a little bit bulkier than I wanted it to be. So I think I'm just going to leave it like this. So now we're going to take this and we're going to stack this down. So let's see, we need 7 more, I believe. So we'll do stack 7. And there we go. That is in place. So now I'm going to copy the corner. So let's copy that, and then we'll go down here to where this corner is going to go, which would be that block right there. And we're going to rotate that 90, paste that in, and now we have that corner. All right, so there's one side completely in place. So now I'm going to come here and select there, and then we can select here. And if we come to this corner, and then we're going to rotate this 90. We'll paste that in. And somehow I lost a little bit of blue back there, but I don't think that matters. Yep, that's fine. And then we're going to go to this corner. Do the same thing. And there's that side. And one more. All right, there we go. We have the second layer in place. All right, now that that second layer is in place, we can stack that up. So I'm going to put a block here temporarily and select that and delete it, because when I stack up, I don't want to stack up the floor down here. I want to make sure I get all of the walls, and I want to get this overhang up here. So that's the first spot I selected. And then we're going to select this corner over here, and let's go over to the front, and let's run the stack command. So we're going to do stack. And how high do we want this to go? Let's try going up 6 up. See how that looks. Not bad. That looks pretty good. It looks how I expected. Let's go a little higher. At least as tall as this building here. So let's try going 10 up. A little more. 12 up. That's looking pretty good. I think I want to go a little taller. Let's go 14 up. Yeah, there we go. So it's a little taller than the building next door. And we're almost done. Just like that, we've got a building in place. We spent a lot of time getting the bottom 2 layers put together, but once you've done that, the rest of it goes together super fast. So now let's come up here to the top, and I am going to work out what I want the design to be for the very top layer, because it's going to look a little bit different than the rest, something a bit decorative, and then we'll put the roof on, and that will pretty much be it for this building. All right, so now you can see I have the top part put on here. And what I did to make this is I just took and I stacked one more up. And then I took and replaced the entire inside with white concrete, and then just removed those 3 blocks from the columns. And I just did that part manually. It was just simpler to do that than to try to world edit them all around. Sometimes world edit is the best and fastest option, like stacking all these up and replacing all the blocks in here with white concrete. That is the fastest and easiest method. But sometimes you just have to do a few things manually. Taking away those 3 blocks, and I think that that looks pretty nice. I like how this building turned out. So I've been looking at this, and I think I want to make a little bit of a change to this. I have light gray concrete as the awning over the entrance areas, and I want to see what it looks like if I change the horizontal parts to be light gray concrete. So I've already selected this level here, and so we're going to do replace gray concrete with light gray concrete. Yeah, I think that's better. I think that's much better. So I'm going to select this corner, and that corner there. And I'm going to run the command again. Yeah, I think that's an improvement. So now I'm going to select that corner there. And then we're going to select this corner here, and we're going to stack that up. So let me go back here a little bit. I think 14 up. No, let's not do that much because it took away the top. Let's do 13 up. Okay, good. And then I will select this part here and do this part manually. Well, not manually, I'm using World Edit, of course. But we will just do the replace command again and get that, and then we'll do it on this one. Okay, and these blocks here, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with the roof when I kind of realized I didn't like how that was looking. That's better. I think that's much better. All right, so now I'm going to go back up to the roof and try to figure out what I want to do there. All right, I figured out what I want to do with this. I already have this blue area selected, so I'm going to do set, and we're going to do light, gray, concrete. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a block right there, and I'm going to go over to this side. I'm a little laggy right now. Put a block right there. I'm going to select that one. So we have both corners selected. And then I'm going to do the command walls, and we're going to do gray concrete. And there we go. That's what I'm doing for the roof. You can, of course, add all kinds of other things to it. Various pieces of equipment and air conditioning units and all kinds of things up on the roof. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. None of the other buildings in my city have that type of thing going on, except for over here in the industrial area. You can see some examples down there of the things that you can put on the roofs to add more stuff, but we don't have that going on any of the skyscrapers. So that's it for this building. It is done. All right, well, I spoke a little too soon. At nighttime, it is really, really dark. So we're going to light this up using the light block. So this was added a couple versions of Minecraft ago. I don't remember exactly when, but it's an invisible light that you can only see when you're holding the block, kind of like barrier blocks. So I'm going to put some of those around here using World Edit. I'm going to select that corner right there, and then up here at the top, I'm going to come over to this opposite corner, and I'm going to put a block there temporarily and make that my second corner. And then we're going to do replace air, and we're going to do 10% light, comma, 90% air. So that's only going to replace 10% of the air blocks with lights. So you can see it lights the building up. And if we select the light block and move closer, you can see not all of the blocks have been replaced. Only some of them, only 10% of the air blocks were changed into light blocks. And that lights it up plenty enough. We don't need every single block to become a light block. The last thing to do with this would be to do the landscaping all around the outside. We could plant some flower beds and maybe some plazas and things. Also some alleys that go around the outside. I also have to remove some of these blocks down here so that it doesn't look buried under the ground. But none of that involves World Edit. That's all stuff that I will just do manually myself. And with that, that is it for this video. This building is done, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I hope that you learned something during this and that you can use some of these World Edit tricks to make your own building. And if you like this video, please click the like button and leave a comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'll see you next time.